Hey everyone, it's Ellie, and if you've been following my journey then you would know that this is Arcadia, my 2007 Toyota Hiace, which I bought about a month ago to self-convert for van life. Now, I've previously spoken about the importance of ventilation, and so that is what I'm getting stuck into today. I will be documenting the entire conversion here on my channel over the coming weeks, so subscribe if you want to come along for the journey. I'm a tiny little YouTuber, so every subscriber means so much, and thank you for your support. I'm Ellie Wilder and you're watching Wilder in Motion. Proper ventilation in a camper van is essential. Without it, things can mold as a result of condensation forming due to humidity. Inevitably, moisture will end up in the van. It comes out inside our breath when we're cooking, etc. And this needs to be let out somehow, otherwise it will turn into condensation, and if this gets in the wrong place, that can lead to the dreaded mold. There are several different ventilation options, but beyond just a roll down window, the most common kind is a fan vent that goes in the roof that can be opened and closed to extract humidity and stimulate airflow. There are several different brands that make these, but by far the market leader is the Maxxfan Deluxe. The biggest benefit of the Maxxfan by far is the domed hood means that it can be used even when it's raining outside, which is when it's going to be the most humid and ventilation is so essential. But also the sheer size of the fan means that it really gets the air flowing. I've seen some campers that just have tiny little fans that have not been adequate to air out the space properly. It also has a fairly low power draw, and this model comes with a remote so I can control it from anywhere within the van, and it has 10 speeds, which is probably more than I'll use, but certainly better to have them than not. This is the base of it. Basically, this is where the metal roof is going to go, so I will be trimming this part of it down. But the first step is to get this actually installed in the roof. In terms of the materials I've got today, I've got my template. I just kind of have cardboard that came with it. It is 35.5 mils for the KI model, and then I've also just marked a spot in the middle so that I can line it up on the roof. Then I've also got a drill with a metal drill bit. I've got some tape that I'm going to use to hold the panel to stop it from falling through once I cut the hole. And to actually cut the hole, I've got a jigsaw with a metal blade in it. I've also got some butyl tape which I'm going to use to pack out the divots in my roof. And then to finish things all off, I've got some roof gutter and concrete sealant. This is silicone based. A lot of people use lap sealant or self-leveling. That is pretty hard to come by, I found in Australian stores. I think the fact that it is silicone should be alright. And of course, a marker. And you may also need a handsaw to cut down the flange. So the first step is to decide where you want the fan to go looking at the inside of your van. You're going to need to keep in mind things such as the physical structure of your roof, as well as where anything else you're planning on mounting on your roof is going. For me, this meant measuring to make sure I had enough room to fit my solar panels in as well. So I did want my template to go here, which is slightly towards the back of the van, but it's going to have to go right in the center of the van because this gap is not wide enough and I don't want to go about cutting these. So instead, it's going to have to go here, this panel, and then draw a dot. And then I just need to drill through that dot. Yay! Can you see daylight? Then it was time to get on top of the roof and line up the center of my template with this hole that I previously drilled, and draw around the outside with a permanent marker. I then took a larger drill bit to drill holes in each of the corners. This took a long time as I could not find my metal drill bits, but I did later and it saved me so much hassle, so I definitely would recommend that you go out and buy metal drill bits if you don't have them, or if you're like me, you put a little bit more effort into finding them first. Once these 4 pilot holes were drilled, I could start cutting out with the metal blade on my jigsaw. The metal blade made cutting it so easy, and I would definitely recommend making sure you have the right tools for this job. As I continued cutting, the vibrations caused the metal to flap around a little bit, so to minimize this I used some masking tape just to stabilize things a little bit. And pretty soon I had my hole cut out and I checked to make sure it fit the flange. It's really important that the sides with the metal brackets are on the left and right, not the front and back. Once I had fitted the flange, I used my permanent marker to mark the little holes where the screws would attach. Then I pre-drilled these holes. I gave the cut a light sand with some metal sandpaper, but chose not to paint it as I didn't have any metal paint left, but it shouldn't be vulnerable to rusting as the area will be completely sealed. The Maxxfan flange is flat, but my roof is not, and so I filled in these valleys with something called butyl tape. I used my butyl tape to level everything out by building up the areas that were lower. This took a couple of layers in some areas. The butyl tape acts as both a filler and a sealant. It is very sticky, so do be careful. I was constantly checking my level using the flange, and once I was happy with everything, I peeled the backing off the butyl tape and used some silicone to stick everything down. Once I was happy with the position, I used a screwdriver and the screws that came with the Maxxfan to attach the flange to the roof. I sealed completely around the edge with a row of silicone, smoothing things out with a craft spatula. I also used some silicone to secure over the top of the screws. With the fan in its open position, I slotted it into the flange. With a little bit of persuasion, I got the holes to line up and secured the two together with 4 screws. So I've just come inside and it's literally just started raining, so my waterproofing is going to get its first test, which I'm going to finish now from the inside by going in this gap here, which is the underside of the flange, and then just going around the base of these screws. So this will make it double sealed. To neaten things up on the inside, they provide you with this piece of plastic which can be cut down with a handsaw depending on your roof thickness. I'm going to leave this for now until I finish off the inside of the roof, but it's really simple. It's just secured with 4 screws. Overall, I found this DIY fairly straightforward, and I think most people should be able to achieve it within a day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video entertaining or interesting or helpful in any way. I will be giving a full breakdown of the electrical system that this fan will be a part of in an upcoming video, and that will be installed with the help of an electrician very soon. So if you don't want to miss that, then please be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.